Okay, y'all, today it's pouring rain outside, and usually I play Frisbee on Sundays, but because it's raining, we can't actually do that. And so I thought today would be a great day for me to hunker down and just spit out a video or two. So today I wanted to talk about what Tinder's like. The video that has the most amount of views on my YouTube channel so far was me talking about how Tinder's just complete slop and bullshit at this point, at least in the United States, but when you come down here, it's a little bit different. Now, last year when I used Tinder, I actually paid for it for a month or two. Even though I hate Tinder and even though I don't support it, I still wanted to see what it was like just for, experimentational purposes, we'll say. And I was kind of baffled that you could get as many matches as you did because in probably 2 or 3 days worth of just using Tinder a fair amount with the paid feature last year, I got more matches in probably 3 days than I got in the previous 6 years total in the United States. So this time I didn't pay for it. And while I'm not getting nearly as many matches as last time, I'm still getting more matches than I would normally get in the United States. So this was going to be an obvious one. But for those of you who don't know, yes, Tinder and online dating in South America is actually a thing. It's much better than anything you would ever see in the United States, so highly recommend it if you're down here to at least give it a try. Also, the other thing is just because you're getting a bunch of matches doesn't mean you're not actually going to meet these people. While you still get a lot of profiles that don't actually message you back, there are a fair amount that will message you back and actually be down to meet up with you and respond in a, reasonable amount of time, which is much better than I can say at the current moment in the United States. Now, if we expand that further and look at what the experience is for the average guy here, there's a lot of attractive women here, but why are they attractive? Well, when you're swiping through all these profiles, it's just a lot of thin women and reasonably in shape women. So it's not like they're like stunners all the time, but it's just like 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, right? Over and over again. And it's kind of just this avalanche of just good looking in shape women, right? I'm not a huge Latina guy. Like, I won't go out of my way for Latinas, absolutely not. But when you have a woman who's in shape and takes care of her body and just has like a nice face, I mean, that's like plenty to work with as like a guy, right? Like, are we seriously going to complain and say like, no, this in shape chick, I can't deal with that. She's just way too in shape and she looks too good and she's not my type. No. Like, come on, let's not be ridiculous, right? When you're using Tinder in the United States, you get all sorts of just like nose ring, fat chicks, right? Very unattractive. People who aren't taking care of themselves, right? And it just goes left, 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 left. And then you might get the occasionally pretty good looking girl on there, but she's never going to match with you because the other 55 guys that are using it also have the same experience of just left, 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 ugly, ugly, not attractive, fat, right? Over here, it's very rare that you see like a fat girl, I can tell you this, in the time that I've been walking around in Buenos Aires and such, I've probably only seen like 8 or 9 black people. And really, those people are actually from like straight Africa and they're here like illegally. And some of the natives seem to know about them and know that it's just like blatantly illegal, but they're not like black US people, right? I think I may have seen 1 or 2 people from the US that were black. The amount of Asians that are here, they don't exist either. Of like the 10 Asians I've seen, 5 of them were obviously from like Korea or like Japan or some sort of country over there. And like maybe 4 or 5 seemed like they might have been able to speak Spanish. I didn't really know because I didn't talk to them, but I just noticed, like, when you're walking around, you kind of notice these things like, oh shit, there's an Asian person, It's probably the equivalent of like when someone looks at me and goes like, that guy has blue eyes, So the point is, maybe I stand out more as like this like exotic person that has the kind of German, European looking vibes, And that's not very common here. And maybe that does do me small favors as compared to the average person here. But realistically, you get like more of a homogenous group of women. They tend to have the same kind of like Italian, Latina mix hybrid going on. But at the end of the day, it's much better down here if you're looking for like the dating scene in comparison when you look at the United States.